Pregnancy can be such an exciting time for a couple, and as you would expect moms to be, get most of the attention. Well, our next guest, author Judith Schuler, is here today focusing on expectant dads. Welcome, Judi.
Well, thank you, Heather.
It's such a pleasure to meet you.
Nice meeting you, too.
Now, I love this because we have Father's Day just around the corner,
right.
And you are here to talk about fathers during the pregnancy time.
Right.
And they, you know, they have a time going through it as well.
They do. I think, well, one of the big things is most couples, from what we've heard talking to them and things, they don't have any idea that pregnancy can affect a man. Right. Because they think it's all about the woman, but it's not. It is also about the father-to-be.
And tell us some of the reasons, some of the things that the fathers go through.
Well, some of the general kind of overall feelings, there's usually concern about mom and baby's health. They're always looking at that. They're concerned about how is a baby going to change our life as we go from a couple to a family. Mm-hmm. They're very concerned about finances.
Oh, I bet.
That is something that really hits them because, you know, a man oftentimes takes care of the finances and they want to know how it's going to affect their whole lifestyle. And the other thing is, oftentimes they're very nervous about how am I going to interact with a baby? What if I drop the baby? What if I don't hold the baby right? And so they're concerned about how they're going to be once the baby comes too. Changing diapers, changing clothing. That's right.
I can see. And they maybe don't have as much of a bonding experience through the pregnancy.
No, they don't. And there are ways that men, in our book Father-to-Be, which is written from the man's point of view, we give some ideas on ways to bond during pregnancy.
Really?
Yeah.
What are some of these?
Talk to the baby, put your hand. Oftentimes, babies will be active at certain times of the day. I know mine was active, you know, late afternoon. So let the father-to-be put his hand on the baby, feel it moving, tap the baby. The baby can feel that very lightly tapping and talk to the baby. Those are ways to bond beforehand.
And they can hear in the womb?
They can. It's not real distinct, but we know that after birth, a baby recognizes its mom's voice very soon after, like hours after birth.
Wow, that's incredible. Now, I've heard a rumor that sometimes expectant dads can also have symptoms during pregnancy.
Yes,
is that true?
It's called couvade. It's French and means the word to hatch. And it also means sympathetic pregnancy.
Okay, so what are some of the symptoms you might feel?
Well, they can have nausea, they can have muscle aches and pains, fatigue. They might have food cravings and weight gain. So this is a real definite thing that a man experiences. It's not just it might be all in his head, but it's also physical. So it should not be just dismissed. I mean, a mom-to-be shouldn't say of her partner, oh, just blow that off because, you know, you're not pregnant. But they are actually having
They're real,
symptoms.
so we should be listening to the dads.
That's right. There's also some other things that come up during pregnancy 3 that are very kind of unusual and surprise people. One is that dads can feel ignored, left out, and jealous. They are not part of the pregnancy, so try to make sure that they're included. Another thing is that some men, not all of them, but some men have terrible anxiety about labor and delivery.
Do they?
And that's something.
Because I can imagine as a woman having that anxiety.
Well, it's what is their role going to be? And some of them want to be very active and participate, and some of them want to stand by your head and hold your hand. And that has to be worked out between the couple. Don't expect the father-to-be to do something that he can't do because really the doctor and the nurses don't want 2 patients to take care of. Right. And the other thing is men are very concerned about sex during pregnancy.
Okay.
They're always, that's always a question that, you know, we hear, not always, but very often from men, is sex safe? They're more concerned about safety for the baby and sex, and that's a question that should be discussed with the woman's doctor, because there are, in most cases, if it's a normal, you know, low-risk pregnancy, it's okay. But there are some situations where we want you to avoid sex, and so that's something that should be talked about with the physician. But if a doctor has if a father-to-be has questions, he can call the doctor.
And he should feel welcome to do that.
He should. And the doctor, my co-author, is an OBGYN, and he said he gets those calls every once in a while.
Does he?
And he said he's glad to talk to him, so I'm sure that any other doctor would be too. So.
Oh, it's so good to know. Such great information,
Thank
Judy.
you.
Such a pleasure to meet you.
Nice
Thanks for
meeting
being
you
on.
too. Thank you.
And you can learn more about your pregnancy by going online to yourpregnancybook.com.